Hello, everybody. It is time for another weekly update. And this week it had its challenges. We had some wonderful weather. We also had close to freezing temperatures. I think it's about 33 degrees last night. So had to protect the plants, keep them warm. You'll see how I did that. And I put up the windbreak around most of the windbreak around the patch. And the hardest part of this whole week was getting rid of half of my pumpkin plants. Yes, it is was culling day this week. So stick around and I'll show you those clips and I'll see you on the other side. All right, so now we put spring on pause for a moment, and the next 2 nights we're gonna experience middle of fall, I guess, because tonight it's supposed to get down around 35 degrees, and it might get even cooler than that. So what I'm attempting to be able to keep it reasonably warm in here is I have this radiant propane heater, which I have it set on low, so hopefully that'll be able to last 2 nights, because it's supposed to be in the mid-30s tomorrow as well. But it at least has to last until all of tonight. But anyways, so then I also turn that fan on to help, obviously, circulate. And hopefully that'll be enough to keep these guys somewhat warm and happy. And I turn that heater off. Whoops, there's my finger. I turn that heater off. And the reason why I did that is because I'm going to actually, once I get around the hoop house, have to go into that door, I'm going to turn that heater on high, because the 1990 Marenzer is pretty much to the wall, and so it'll probably get a little bit cooler right there. So I'm going to give it a little heat boost with that little guy. And then once I get out of here, I'm going to grab a shovel and right by the door where all that plastic is, I'm going to backfill some dirt on there to help seal it up, because otherwise cold air can get underneath there and make the front of these plants a little bit colder than I want. So hopefully both of those will help keep this warm in here, because I'm already pretty hot right here and I just turned this on. So yeah, the things we have to do when Mother Nature's being not very nice, to put it nicely. Anyways, bring you guys back in the morning to see how well they fared. Alright, so the heater over there, it's been on for about roughly 15 minutes. And what's the temperature outside?
46.
It is 40. Here, let me give you a nicer shot. It's 46 outside, and it's going to drop 10 more degrees outside. So I'm going to assume that the temperature in here is going to drop 10 degrees as well. But you can't see it, but you're going to have to trust me. It says 63.5 right now. So if that dips down as much as what the outside is going to be, that should be around 55, which is plenty good for me, considering the circumstances. So it's quite humid in here, as you can see by that's the actual image out here. But hopefully it doesn't burn down or melt down, and we'll see it in the morning. All right, had to throw that all right in there because he loves it when I do that. So now I'm now that we checked the temperature in the extremely humid hoop house, time to seal her in. All right, they are sealed in, and I'll crack the tomb in the morning. So I'll see you guys in the morning. Good night. All right, it is the next morning. Did not get out here as early as I wanted to be able to see what the temperature is right at sunrise. And, well, the reason for that, because I was starting the regular pumpkins and gourds by seed inside at my place. So it is now 8:30, and as you can see, don't mind my cover crop. I'm gonna take care of that fairly soon. But when I did come in here, the white hoop house was at 89 degrees, and over there by the green hoop house it was 102. Now the reason why for the high temperatures is, and the temperature difference is, the green hoop house gets the morning sun first, and then the white hoop house does, just because it, you know, has to get up and over, the sun has to get up and over the barn and the trees. So from what Chris figured out with the R value of the plastic, the area of each hoop house, and the BTU output of that heater, he figures each hoop house, that heater rolls the temperature in here about 20 degrees. And it got down to 35, but we got frost on the cars and surrounding area, so I'm guessing it was closer to 32, 33, right around there. So technically in here it probably was at about between 52 and 55 degrees in here, which is pretty good. And the CO2 levels probably on the higher side. I could definitely tell when I first came in here, but plants like that, so hey, it was a very good outcome for having a frost. So yeah, without getting too long-winded, I'll end it there, and it ended with a positive outcome. All right, it's a nice, beautiful Saturday morning. The sun finally came out, so it's probably a good time to put the windbreak on. Pulled it out of the barn, didn't find any surprises like mice nests, so that's a positive. Didn't see any holes, so things are looking good. Now I just need to drag all this to the patch and start zip tying. Alright, so I'm going to work on the two sides that I get hit by the wind the hardest. That would be the north and the west walls. And then work my way to the south, to the south wall. And that's basically all. I just do those three sides. This east wall, it has trees, and it's got the barn. It's got it's got a lot of things to slow the wind down fairly well. So that snow fence over there is mainly for keeping the deer and any other critters out of the patch. So enough chit-chatting, and I shall get to work. Alright, so this is going to be a plant update along with culling the pumpkins as well. I'm going to kind of combine the two. So we are in the white hoop house, and we're by the 1612 Renzers. And the reason for that, because 1990 Renzer over there, it's hard to get in and out on that side because of that plant. And I also want to note that I'm culling these on May 28th. Now, here in the white hoop house plant, hoop house, wow. These guys are growing very well, especially the 1990. And I should have culled them a couple of days ago, heck, even a week ago, but with the nasty weather that we were getting, I kind of wanted to wait just to make sure everything was hunky-dory before I made the very tough decision. So now, without no more rambling, let's get down there and do the deed, alright? Alright, so now I'm on the back side of the 1612 Marenzers, and essentially both of these are nice plants. There's nothing wrong with either one of them. So now it just comes down to the one on the right is a little bit longer. So this is the one I'm going to keep, and as you can tell, because I changed all the lights just be on this guy. But now, now the fun part. Get the old knife out, and we're going to cut them off. Whoops. Alright. Here we go. There. That one is no more. So sad. Alright. Never, never, never fun. So now we have the 1990 Marenzer over here and the 816 Mason over here. And I've always wanted to keep 1990 Marenzer, which I am, and it's doing fantastic. So much so that I'll probably have to rather take the plastic off a couple days early or think of something to do to keep them in this plastic on until June 5th or something. I'm going to have to come up with something. And as you can see, the secondaries they're about, that's like about 6 inches away from this wall. So that is about almost 4 feet long already. And the plant itself is darn near 8 feet, because right where it's, from where it's planted to that wall is 8 feet. So he's wanting to bust out of here, so gonna have to cut the mason off and then think of something to do with this plant because it's doing so well. Now, this is also a perfect example of really what you shouldn't do. You shouldn't let your plants get this big before you cut it out, because I'm going to put the knife down. It's making me nervous, probably making you guys nervous. But see, we got a secondary here, and it's starting to grow into the mason, and we got another one up there that's doing the same thing. So we got secondaries crossing into the other plant, and that's not what you want. So, you know, stalling, and time to do some cutting. So, I guess it doesn't matter if I break some leaves, because I'm just not going to need them anymore. Oh, man. Bye-bye, 816 Mason. You were a great plant. Hey. Whoops. It was even getting some wonderful taproots right here, that, you know, all along the line. But she had to go. So now I have room. I'll move this walking board over, and I'll have to raise it because I'll need the secondaries to go underneath the walking board. And yeah, now it can breathe. So halfway done. Let's go do the other two, all right? All right, we made it into the green hoop house, and which we have the Brant in the back and the Fords right here. So we'll go over and do the Brant first. Believe, yeah, that one was the easier one to make a decision, and actually I had a switch, the one I was actually gonna keep, and I'll show you why. Alright, I'm back. I was confusing myself, so I want to make sure I get the right ones. Which I think it must have been that other 1612 plant that it would have grown this way, and then it kind of went folded over on itself, and then it was growing. And it must have been that one back there, and I just missed it when I was over there. So, anyways, now let's get back to the 2031 Brant. And I'm going to assume, after looking it over, and I'm burying the vines over here, and that I am going with this one, which means that this guy's got to go. And don't worry, the 2015 Fords is a lot easier. There's one plant that's like a little smaller than the other one. So, the old knife is out. Yeah, this is the one. It is now. There it goes. Yep, keeping this guy. Yeah, it ain't nothing wrong with that guy. Beautiful. Now let's go around to the 2015 Ford. Try to get up off this balancing board. Alright, so these are the 2015 Ford, and obviously the decision is a lot easier. That one's going. But I will double check this one, make sure there's nothing quirky about it. Because that happened to me last year. I made the decision, and then later on that evening I came out and I noticed the one that I terminated, one of the secondaries, had a double vine. So always double check. I don't know if you can see that. It's got a little split, right? A little crack. It's not really a split, just crack. No biggie. Alright. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with you. That's a normal secondary. That's a pretty normal secondary. Yeah. It looks normal all the way up. Nothing odd about this plant. So, there it is. So, definitely keeping this one. Which means you are a goner. I mean, you're just... Everything about this plant is wimpy. The main vine is wimpy. The leaves are smaller. And secondaries aren't as big as this one is. So, this guy made it easier to make the decision. So, he's out of there. So, alright. Hoy. I'm committed now. I've committed to myself to 4 plants. Probably feel better about it in the morning. But this is the 7th season, and we've always basically made good choices, and typically nothing has gone wrong. So, knock on wood. So, yeah, you essentially saw the plants as I was making the excruciating decisions. So, yeah, I think the smallest plant I have is I want to say the 2031 Brant, and maybe by 6 inches. Then the 2015 Ford is the second biggest, or third biggest. And then, as you saw, the 1612. And then my prize plant, 99 Brenzer. So, on that very tough note, it's been a challenging week, but still has been a real good week. Up until the very cold weather, we had excellent growth. I had just been tracking the 99 Morenzer plant, and it has been doing on average between 6 to 10 inches of growth per day, which is awesome. That's why that one is busting out. I would say the rest of the plants are doing between probably 4 to 6 inches a day, which is still not bad, but the 1990 Morenzer, I've been able to bury the vines on that one first, so I think that's where it's getting a little boost in growth. It's getting more roots than the rest of the plants. So now that the rest of them have been lined down, I'll be burying each leaf node as soon as possible, because we're in total salad mode. Would like to be pollinating in essentially 2 weeks. I'd like to try to get around June 15th. I should for sure get the 99 Morenzer on the 15th, and the rest of the plants probably a week after, which is still really good, especially for me. So as of right now, it's looking good for that. And I am rambling too, which makes videos nice and long. So I'll stop right here. And so, yeah, until next time, guys, I will see you later. Bye-bye.